Yep. Social distancing, maybe advice to work from home, and the fact that this new variant is now accounting for 10% of cases, the fact that deaths are now at their highest level since March, and infections now are around 50,000 a day. And those are the GPs who the health secretary said, you should be in your GP surgery seeing people face to face. Well, a GP can't be seeing a patient face to face at the same time as they're in a care home administering a booster jab, can they? Susanna, everybody's gone back to work. Imagine those volunteers are no longer available. Do we need to have a vaccine task force of paid people who are not GPs, or does more need to be done to get, for instance, people turning up at their pharmacy? Because I'm not sure, because I was noticing a tone around the last few days that it's because people aren't taking a booster, and you're not, you have to wait until you're called, don't you? And I'll be, right there when I'm actually issued the invitation. And this is about the fact that Nadhim Zahawi, of course, was a very high-profile vaccines minister. And seemed to be extremely effective. And when we interviewed him on this programme, it felt like once a week. Yeah. He managed to get the message out there. And the first two stages, the vaccine rollout, were really, really successful. Yeah. But the booster rollout is going way too slowly.
There is a publicity
that they had capacity, and you could just roll up and get your booster. Yeah.
But you can... it's got
Plan B. And even Professor Ferguson, as Richard was saying, says that he doesn't think there's going to be a lockdown. The trouble is, if we skip Plan B and we don't introduce restrictions, are we in danger of having to go straight to lockdown?
There's a bigger...
It felt like an emergency measure we all wanted to support because we felt it was going to be short-term. We understood that then there was a further lockdown. I think there is going to be an issue about, are we now facing rolling lockdowns? But unless they bring in something, lockdown looks like it may be a possibility. And there are people opposed to lockdown on a whole spectrum of political opinion. You have, I heard you talking last night to somebody in industry. That's at one end. Drivers have left, HGV drivers have left, people have gone home, people who might have, wanted the UK to be their home might have found lockdown, an opportunity actually to go back to their home elsewhere in the world. The economic consequences of lockdown are huge, aren't they?
Well, they are, and that's...
Everybody's on high alert because Sir David Amess was in an interaction with members of the public, and it led to his to this. Because otherwise, it's people trying to campaign on this. Important for celebrities like you to bring. People may not know is that you have a very personal link with Ghana. Biological grandparents were from Ghana. Connections when you were there. Where your character began is actually there were all these rows about the NHS. Yeah. So that with the people that you visited in Ghana, you weren't just a celebrity parachuted in, were you? No. This is somewhere...
Well, good morning. Welcome to the programme, 6:31. I guess you could say that it's our job, isn't it, at this stage in the programme, every day, to kind of read the room, take the mood music. And looking at the front pages and the editorials and stuff today, you just get the strong impression of inevitability that we are going to be returning to some kind of restrictions, that we're going to go back, not necessarily to lockdown. I mean, that's my sense of it. Is that your sense this morning?
Definitely. Yeah. And, of course, there is a plan B, isn't there? Currently, the plan is just to continue as we are. Plan B would involve the reintroduction of mandatory mask wear, possible introduction of vaccine passports. And there are lots within government backbenches who don't want to see mandatory vaccine.
At all, the lockdown. I mean, Professor Ian Ferguson, who of course is Mr. Lockdown, although he broke lockdown himself, even he is saying he thinks it's very unlikely that we'll have another lockdown, but we will have these other restrictions. Yeah. What do we think about that? Well, I think that maybe the burning question this morning is, we need it, so stay watching for that. In the meantime, I mean, really disturbing pictures from Westminster yesterday, with a major breaking story, actually. The BBC. No, this is very important. The BBC, very often accused of being stuck in its ways. You worked for them for a while. You came into the commercial sector, and you're having a much more fun here. They have actually rebranded themselves.
Even if you say so yourself?
This is the old BBC.
They probably knew the reaction that they were going to get, and they're just keeping their heads down.
Well, the BBC are like Millwall supporters. Everybody hates them, but they don't care.
Quite right too.
The BBC, everybody loves the BBC.
Hyperbole. Of course, we love the BBC.
Yeah, but we'll find out how much that cost and get back to you. Thanks all very much. Dr. Giddy Singh, lovely to see you. Lots more still to come, including actor Stephen Mangan. And Gina Bradbury will be joining us on her sister Julia's breast cancer recovery. You're watching Good Morning Britain on ITV. Close to 7 competition time now. It's the final week of our big... Be a little bit quieter, perhaps. Choose a different looking. We are joined in the studio by the brilliant Amanda Mealy. 170 million people worldwide still don't have access to a close source of clean water. Something as basic as that. Campaigners say vulnerable communities need to help protect themselves from climate change, and it's a key part of that. Ahead of the COP26 summit, G20 leaders being urged to go green and deliver on their climate change finance pledges.
Well, as you say, actress Amanda Mealy is amongst a number of celebrities who've now signed an open letter, and it calls on the government to take a lot more action. And this comes after she went personally to see Ghana and have a look at some of the issues that are being faced there in terms of water firsthand.
Thank you so much. Right, let's have a look at today's weather with Laura, who's in Lancashire. It is 8 minutes past 7. Here's Ranveer with today's...
Dan is talking about is this global phenomenon. It's the biggest show on Netflix, and that is saying something about Netflix. 142 million households have now tuned in and are tuning in to watch Squid Game.
Yes.
Hang on. Squid Game. It's from South Korea.
What happened there?
The false tooth just slipped slightly.
Oh, OK.
Yeah, it's a South Korean programme. It's a kind of dystopian drama, and it's all centred around innocent-looking children's games. But these are games with brutal, deadly consequences.
Yes, and schools are now warning parents against letting their children watch it due to its violent nature and fears that children are recreating the dangerous scenes. It's not the only violent show, though, of course, young audiences have been exposed to, and it is an age-old debate. Kira Durkin looks back.